Like any other ship sailing on the high seas, on rivers or lakes, cruise ships depend on the weather. Cruise lines are aware of this and try to locate their ships in places where the weather is less likely to affect the itinerary, but there is never a guarantee that inclement weather will not occur. From rain, hurricanes, and high winds to fog, low tide, or high water, there are many reasons why bad weather can throw a cruise off its original course or just ruin your beach day. Cruise ships bound for the Bahamas, Bermuda, Mexico, and the Caribbean during the hurricane season on both the east and west coasts of the U.S. often change routes or skip ports to avoid storms in the area. Hawaiian cruises may also be affected, although less frequently. Ships departing from Galveston and Tampa during the winter and spring are often foggy, causing delays and cancellations of at least one cruise per season. Some tender ports, which need to be reached by small boats traveling back and forth between the cruise ship and the shore, such as Grand Turk, Belize City, Grand Cayman, and so on, are usually missed in Europe due to strong winds. River cruises are also not immune, often changing routes or putting passengers on tour buses because the water level in the river is too high or too low. Even if the ports are not skipped completely, the arrival may be delayed, and your time onshore will be reduced. And any direction can be cold, rainy, cloudy, or windy. Bad weather can mean anything from less than impressive photos or a cancelled helicopter ride to snorkeling in the rain. Is it possible for a cruise ship to list heavily or almost capsize in bad weather? All modern cruise ships have stabilizers to minimize sway and roll. But a cruise ship in bad weather can suffer from rough seas and strong winds. As we said earlier, ship captains study the forecasts and change course to avoid the storm. However, sometimes rough seas are unavoidable or storms are stronger than expected, as was the case in February 2016 when Royal Caribbean's Anthem of the Seas unexpectedly encountered winds in excess of 100 miles per hour and waves over 30 feet high. In these rare cases, cruise ships may roll over, but they will not capsize because they have special systems to prevent such situations. Do cruises ever get cancelled due to bad weather? Because cruise ships can navigate in bad weather, full cancellations are rare. But they happen. Cruise lines are reluctant to cancel cruises and try to wait as long as possible before making a decision, while also trying to give passengers enough time to make an alternative plan if necessary. If the company cancels the flight, they will offer compensation, usually a full refund of the cruise cost and possibly an additional percentage of the fare paid, provided in the form of a certificate for a future cruise. For example, during the successive hurricanes Irma and Maria in 2017, which affected more than 100 routes, passengers were fully reimbursed for the cost of canceled flights. Some companies also offered a future cruise credit of 25% in addition to reimbursement. In other cases, cruise lines have been forced to shorten itineraries and give booked cruise ships the option to cancel their booking for a full refund or set sail and receive a partial refund, 25 to 50%, as well as a future cruise credit of 25 to 50%. Can I cancel my cruise booking if a storm is forecast? It is always possible to cancel a cruise, but in most cases, you will lose the full cost of the cruise, minus port fees. In the event of extremely severe storms, cruise lines will allow passengers to cancel their flight with no, or minimal, penalty. Is a passenger entitled to a refund or other compensation if they miss a port due to bad weather? When a port is missed, the only compensation the passenger is entitled to is the port dues of that destination. This is usually a minimum amount, e.g., $7 to $20, and will be provided to you in the form of a ship credit, which will be used to cover your expenses on board. Sometimes a cruise line will offer a little extra money for expenses, in the form of an onboard credit, especially if a few ports are missed or the entire itinerary needs to be changed, but this is not the norm, and you are not entitled to it.